What's up, fragrance connoisseurs? This is Charm City, and we're doing a tag video. Shout out to Dedrick Hicks Jr. and the Smell Good family for the tag. The video is on the top 5 underrated fragrances. I will be passing it forward and tagging some other people along. I really like when the community gets together and we do some things like this. And it also gives you an opportunity to see a lot of fragrances that maybe aren't being featured or shown in fragrance videos a lot right now. So, you know the drill. Stick to it. Stay tuned for station identification, and we'll get into the top 5 underrated fragrances. All right, fragrance connoisseurs, we're back. I am letting out game and bringing some heat. I'm gonna give you 5, that's right, 5 underrated fragrances that you're not hearing all over YouTube and that really are hidden gems. They're sleepers. They need to have more press, and really, it's almost like we're gatekeeping these. But the first one I'm gonna start out with comes from the House of Arabian Oud. And if you don't know, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. But you'll know that I really like the House of Arabian Oud. So this one is Rosewood. And this is from Arabian Oud. Rosewood, man, this is a stunning fragrance. This is a dark, mysterious, sexy. It's an earthy rose, it's oud, it's musky, it's woody. This is a sensual fragrance that is to be worn dressed up. This one is basically what I would consider, when you think about a scene or a setting for this, to me this gives me the Dracula vibes. Like, what would Dracula wear? And I'm not talking about this Dracula. And definitely not talking about this Dracula. I'm talking about the smooth Bram Stoker's Gary Oldman Dracula that gives you this dark vibe. This is the one where the rose and the oud is so earthy and mysterious and musky, and it is just so enticing that this is the one that gives you that Jedi mind trick when you put it on, or the Dracula mind trick, whatever you want to call it, when he's walking dressed to the nines, he's out in public, because this Dracula can be out during the daylight, and when he sees the woman that he wants to get the attention of, all he has to do is say, "See me now." This is that fragrance. If you want to get somebody's attention, and you want to go to a party, if you want to go to a theater, if you want to go to somewhere where it's not just a date of dinner and a movie, this is the one that you need. This is Rose, Oud, Madagascar Vanilla, Alabinum, and White Musk. This is a stunner, and it is definitely underrated. If you want a different, musky, deep, dark rose oud, this is the one. Next, we'll go to the House of Mancera. And this one is Oud Exclusive. So just to give you a little background on this one, this is probably one of my first purchases into niche. It wasn't my exact first, but it was in that kind of realm. At the time when I first started out with niche, it was a big jump to go from designer to niche. And the one that I was looking at was basically Amber Oud from Rosa Dove. But of course, that was way above my price budget at the time. Funny how things change. And what I started doing research on is finding something that I thought would be in the same neighborhood, but also would be something that would give you the same type of vibe and be well blended and be a nice one. Well, what came out was Oud Exclusive from Mansera. I got it for, I think, right at about $85 or somewhere under $90. And once I got it and put it on, I got mad compliments with it. This is the most underrated, most complimented Oud Rose sexy fragrance that you can buy under $100, period. I'm just being honest, period. This is the one that when I think of a movie scene or something that gets me in that vibe, this is Purple Rain, Prince, when he sees Apollonia and Apollonia sees him and he gets behind her, and I just realized that she's probably smelling, and this is what I think she's smelling. And even after he leaves, she still has that scent, sea eyes, that scent trail, and she still thinks he's there, and she's talking to no one. This is that fragrance where she's looking back and she's trying to figure out where you went. This is the one I would easily pay for retail, which is about $190, under $200. Luckily, I didn't. I got it for under $90, more than half off. This one gives you saffron, labdanum, cumin, pepper, Bulgarian rose, Indonesian patchouli, violet, agarwood, which is oud, and oriental notes. It is a stunning fragrance. Again, well worth the price of admission, especially if you get it off of discounters. This is underrated for sure. Next, we're gonna give you a designer. So this is Issey Miyake L'Odyssée pour Homme Noir Amber. This one is underrated. This one is a keeper. I know Issey Miyake sometimes is kind of hard to get in the States. However, this is, bar none, the best designer amber there is. Again, period. Bar none. I don't care what amber designer that you bring to my attention, this is the best. Bar none, designer amber. And it's just like that. This one is definitely upper end designer. You could even say it's a low end kind of niche quality grade, but this one is really, really nice. And once I got it and got my hands on it, you can get it for a good price if you can find it. But a lot of times, like I said, it's hard to get. However, this amber starts out with saffron, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coriander. Then in the mid, it has leather, cedar, papyrus, and vetiver. And in the base, of course, it's got amber, vanilla, and tonka bean. If you want to get an amber that is upper class and is designer that you can still get for a good price, this is the one to get. Okay, next, we will go to the house of Arquiste, and this one is a sleeper for sure. No one's really talking about this house that I can see, but this one is Indigo Smoke by Arquiste. This one, to me, is the best incense fragrance in the game. It just is. Nate the Great did his research, bought it for a versus that we did in the fall, and I sprayed it on skin. I ordered it that night. You're not gonna get this at a discounter. You're gonna have to get to a very exclusive small niche, a store that might sell it, or you gotta get it directly from the manufacturer. But I wasn't playing, game knows game, and I had to cop it for practice. For the next time we go into a versus between Nate the Great and myself, I had to cop it. Yes, that's right. We're talking about practice. I needed to make sure that I was on my game, so not the game, but we're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. And you need this in your fragrance collection. You just do. It is, like I said, the best incense in the game. It has a very unique note of apricot, which is really, really interesting. I only have a few fragrances that have apricot as a note, and this one is one of the ones where it just all blends together. You get a tea note, you get the top, you get the apricot, you get the incense, and it really comes together where it's a little fruity, not too overly fruity, it's a little sweet, and then that tea kind of mellows it out and gives it more of an herbal type nature. It's really a great fragrance. This one should be talked about more. Nate the Great and I are gonna do a breakdown of this on our channel. It will be a video dedicated just to this one. This is worthy. I don't know if you can get it at decanters. I'll look and try to put that down on the bottom, but to me, it's blind buy worthy, but I won't tell you to blind buy now. I'm the blind buy bandit, and I'll blind buy, and it's not a big deal. But for you, you have to make sure that this is something that works with you, works with your skin. In Dallas, I saw they did have it at the Scent Room, which was a great find to see the whole house of Arquise there. But make sure it works with your skin. I don't want you to get into a situation where you're blaming me, because it does have some different notes. It's different smelling, but it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. This is Arquise Indigo Smoke. Okay, the last one is one that is really, this one puts tobacco honey on the map. And this is Serge Lutens Chergy. Let me see if I can get the whole thing in there. But this is Chergy. And this one, again, this put tobacco honey on the map. This fragrance was launched in 2001. To me, it's 11 out of 10 fragrance. It's in my top 3 tobacco honey fragrances of all time. This is my 3rd bottle of it. I have 2 bottles. One I have 2 bottles. I had 2 bottles of this size, and then I also have a 50 ml that I take with me. My fragrance, tobacco honey, been that way. Now, you can talk about tobacco honey fragrances, and I know there's a lot, and you can say, well, what about Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille? 2007. This was 2001. You say Terry Mugler's Angelman Pure Vin. Nah, 2011. This was 2001. Say, what about Georgios Naxos? And it's part of the 1861 collection. It's a great fragrance, 2015. Not 2001. This is the standard. And then you can't even bring up Guerlain's Tobacco Honey. That just came out last year in 2023. This is a stunning fragrance. We're talking tobacco leaf, honey, amber, and hay accord, incense, sandalwood, iris, musk, and rose. It's tobacco, powdery, but it also has this earthiness when you get in that hay accord, and then it's a little smoky. It's really deep and rich, and you can get this for around $120, $130 for 100 ml. This is slept on for sure. This is, again, in my top 3 of tobacco honey fragrances. This is not, when I'm wearing this, watch how you talk to me. This is not, when I'm wearing this, talk to me nice. This cat is a bad mother, shut your mouth. That's what this fragrance is. This is shaft. This is a bad mother. It is in my collection one of the tobacco honey fragrances that I will always have. It's got this earthy sexiness to it that also lends to that tobacco, that also lends to the honey. It is more than just a sweet honey like Guerlain's tobacco honey is. This one has depth, it has richness, it has an earthiness that is just stellar. So there you have it. Those are my 5 top underrated fragrances. I'm telling you, all of them are worth the price of admission. Most of them, except for Indigo Smoke, you can get on discounters and you can get for a good price. All of them are somewhere in the neighborhood on discounters of $150 or less. For the price of admission, for what things are going for right now, this is a stunning list. So I hope you liked it. I'm gonna tag some people in the description to keep this going, to keep this moving. Again, shout out to Dedrick Hicks Jr. and all the Smell Good family for giving me the tag. And we're gonna keep this moving. I like when the fragrance community comes together. A great thing to see us come together and talk about some fragrances that you won't see every day, that aren't getting the hype, but they are well worth the price of admission. If you haven't, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. God bless.
Can I sniff it? Yes, you can. 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 Can I sniff it? Yes, you can.